Hi friends, Sairam app. இது ஒரு green social media. இது Facebook மாதிரி ஒரு social media platform. இதுல pictures, videos and voice chat roomலாம் இருக்கு. இதுல account open பண்ணி verify வாங்குற ஒவ்வொரு users பேர்லயும் ஒரு மரக்கன்று நடப்படும். இத sign up பண்ணி account open பண்ணும்போது verification email வரும். அத verification பண்ணா மட்டும் தான் account open ஆகும். நீங்க என்ன user name கொடுக்குறீங்களோ அதை கொடுத்து தான் login பண்ணணும். email address போடக்கூடாது. account open பண்ணி cover photo, profile picture எல்லாம் வச்சு ரெகுலரா ஆக்டிவேட்டா இருந்தா மட்டும் தான் அது verified accountல எடுத்துக்கொள்ளப்படும். அதர் ஆப்ஸ்ல அப்லோட் பண்ணாத watermark இல்லாத own content video போட்டு verify வாங்குற usersக்கு gift உண்டு. அது என்ன gift அப்படிங்கறத அந்த ஆப்ல மெசேஜ் வரும். Sairam app link descriptionல இருக்கு, டவுன்லோட் பண்ணிக்கங்க. Sairam app iOS and Google Play Storeல இருக்கு, டவுன்லோட் பண்ணிக்கங்க.
And our karma, the effect of good and bad deeds of our previous births, either to continue the good deeds or bad deeds, leading to either pleasure or suffering. In this yogic literature, the human body is considered to have 5 kosham, layers or sheaths. Out of these, 3 are invisible. The prominent is our physical body, called Annamaya kosham, which is visible and is the outer layer. It is named as Annamaya because it is nourished by food. Living through these layers, humans identify themselves with a mass of skin, flesh and bones. The physical body is formed of the essence of food. Birth and death are the attributes of the Annamaya kosham. The next layer is called Pranamaya kosham. Pranamaya means composed of Pranan, the vital principle, the force that vitalizes and holds together the body and the mind. It pervades the whole human body, and its one physical manifestation is the breath. As long as this vital principle exists in the body, life continues. Coupled with the 5 organs of action, it forms the vital sheath. It is a modification of Vayu or air, and it enters into and comes out of the body. The third layer is called Manomaya kosham. Manomaya means composed of Manam or mind. The mind, along with the 5 sensory organs, is said to constitute the Manomaya kosham. The Manomaya kosham or mind sheath is said more truly to approximate to the person that Annamaya kosham and Pranamaya kosham. It is cause of diversity of I and mind. Siddhas linked it to the clouds that are brought in by the wind and again driven away by the same. Similarly, man's bondage is caused by the mind, and liberation too is caused by that alone. The fourth sheath is called Vijnanamaya kosham. Vijnanamaya kosham means composed of Vijnana or intellect, the faculty which discriminates, determines or wills. Vijnanamaya kosham is the combination of Ahangaram or ego and the 5 sense organs. It is the sheath composed of more intellection associated with the organs of perception. Buddhi, with its modifications and the organs of knowledge, forms the cause of human dilemma. This knowledge sheath, which seems to be followed by a reflection of the power of the Siddham, is a modification of Prakriti, which is the material world, nature, matter, physical and psychological character, constitution, temper and disposition. It is endowed with a function of knowledge and identifies itself with the body, organs, etc. It is subject to change, it is insentient, it is a limited thing, it is not constantly present. The final and 5th sheath is called Anandamaya kosha. Anandamaya means composed of Ananda or bliss. It is the subtlest of 5 koshams. This sheath is known also as the causal body. In deep sleep, when the mind and senses cease functioning, it still stands between the finite world and the self. Anandamaya, or that which is composed of supreme bliss, is regarded as the innermost of all. The bliss sheath normally has its fullest play during deep sleep, while in the dreaming and wakeful states, it is only a partial manifestation. The blissful sheath, Anandamaya kosham, is a reflection of the Atma, which is truth, love, and bliss absolute. Each of the 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, and space, appears in corresponding subtlety among each of the 5 senses. So to the intellect, it cognizes ever subtler causes and effects at play through each of the 5 sheaths. For example, the Annamaya kosham, the coarsest sheath, is based on the earth element, which is guarded by Lord Vinayakar, while the very subtlest sheath, Anandamaya, is the space element, is the Lord Shivam, the effulgent divine bliss. Awareness of the reflection of Atma within the most subtle sheath, Anandamaya kosham, is the foundation for discerning that which the elements, energies, senses and koshams serve. To that end, one re-examines the components of the 5 koshams in daily Raja Yogam practice learned from the God-realized Kuru. This will lead the spiritual seeker to the solitude called Maunam, which will lead to God realization. Disciple. How thoughts and actions are created. Guru. When we are growing in our mother's womb, the thoughts of our mother are embedded in our mind. When somebody is discussing about their family feud with a pregnant woman, the child inside the womb also listens to it. The parents may be good, but the activities of the children will be different. For growing children, the parents and the others should create an environment of affection and love, and not hatred and enmity. The children growing inside the home will be continuously listening to all the discussions going on around its mother. If the child is listening to the regular fighting between the parents, then the child will develop hatred towards its parents after it is born. The parents will not know about it. We know this by experience and by looking from outside. That is the reason it is always recommended for pregnant women to engage in activities and discussions mixed with love, affection, and charities, and spiritual activities like prayers, going to temple for worship. When the child grows up, it will start following these kind of activities. So till the time of its birth, the actions and the discussions of its parents are recorded into the child's mind. Only after the umbilical cord of the child is cut from its mother, the Atma enters into the stillborn baby. When this umbilical cord is separated from the mother, the baby is just a motionless physical body called pindam. When this stillborn baby is shaken, it opens its mouth. Through the open mouth, life enters through breathing, combined with the cosmic life in the form of pranavam, the divine melody, Am. Pranavam is composed of A, U, and M. These three parts of pranavam separate after entering the body and locates themselves in three parts of the body. A attaches itself to the hip area. U attaches itself to the top of the head, and M attaches itself to the navel point. The functioning of these 3 points directs all the body's activities. These are also called nadam or waves of sound and vindu. This is the process of formation of life and its function. Disciple, why body is perishable and not the life, according to Siddhartha Thirumolar? Guru, life will never be destroyed. Only the body is destroyed in every birth. The life takes another body and we call it as rebirth. Siddhartha Thirumolar stated that he had nourished his body because the body is required for the life to live within it. The indestructible life requires a body so that we can identify the life in a body. The life is deathless or cannot be destroyed. That is the reason why the Siddhartha Thirumolar stated that the life is deathless and called it as Saga Kal, meaning deathless breath. In Poga Punal, Punal means the Vindu. It is also deathless. Mercury evaporates when it comes into contact with fire. Similarly, Vindu also evaporates when it comes in contact with fire. Both are transformed into a vapor state but do not disappear. That is why the Vindu is called Poga Punal. Vega Talai means that the Atma, Talai, cannot be cooked or burnt by fire or water. That is why it is called Vega Talai. To retain these types of objects in our body, one needs to maintain the body in good condition. This is the reason for the Siddhartha Thirumolar statement in the following stanzas on why he had nourished his body. Udambar azhiyil uyirar azhivar. If the body is destroyed, then the life will also be destroyed. Thidambada meinyanam seravum maatar. It is not possible to join the path of God realization. Udambai valarkum ubayam arinde. I had known the technique of developing the body. Udambai valarthen uyir valarthene. Develop my body, thereby develop my life. And Udambinai munnam ilukku endru irundhen. I had considered earlier that my body to be a disrespectful object or bundle of sins. Udambinakku ulle uruporul kandhen. I have seen the very important object inside my body. Udambule uttaman koyil kondan endru. The one without any blemishes enshrined inside my body. Udambinai yaanirandu ombugendrene. Now I have started to nourish and maintain my body. Thirumolar declares that during his initial stages, he had not attached too much importance to body. But once he learned that body is important to realize God, he started to take care of the same. Disciple, is the brain important for the function of the body? Guru, the brain is there even in dead bodies, but the body is not functioning. Then how can we say that the brain is important for the functioning of the body? It is not true. Brain is just a part of the body. It's similar to an electric transformer. It will function only when there is electricity. Here the electricity is our Atma. If the Atma is not in the body, then the brain will not function. Atma is important for the human body to function, and the brain is just a part of the human body. Within the body, the brain sends signals to all these senses. The signals trigger the senses to function, and they continuously send feedback signals about the current state. If there is no sense in the brain, then the body will not feel any sense. We call this as brain dead. For the creation of thoughts, brain is important. But for the thoughts to function, heart is important. If heart does not pump blood to all the parts, then nothing will function. Mind is a collection of thoughts, but thought alone doesn't become mind. For all our activities, the foundation is our thought. Only our thought transforms into action. Disciple, please explain about Siddhar Sivavakiyar stanza on human body. Guru, God has given this body, one must use it well. One can realize God only when our body is in good condition. Odamulla podalo odiye ulavalam. When there is a boat, take it for a joyride. ஓடமுள்ள போதலோ உறுதி பண்ணிக்கொள்ளலாம். When there is a boat, one can confirm it. ஓடமுடைந்த போதில் ஒப்பில்லாத வெளியிலே. When the boat is broken in the incomparable space, ஆடுமில்லை கோளுமில்லை யாருமில்லையானது. No goat, no oar, and there is none. In the above stanza, human body is referred as the boat. The goat is a reference to Vasi, the yogic inner breathing. The oar is a reference to our breathing. It is 12 inches long and the Vasi is 6 inches long. We can achieve everything only with this human body. If there is no human body, we cannot achieve anything. Only in this human body, Atma will reside. Then only you can realize God. We don't exist without God. God doesn't exist without us. Only human beings call the gods as God. Only human beings can identify, name, design a figure and sculpt the image of God and build temples. Gods don't build temples for themselves. Practice is essential to realize God. Disciple. Where was our life and body before our birth? கருத்தரிப்பதற்கு முன். Stanza. Guru. கருத்தரிப்பதற்கு முன் காயம் நின்றது எவ்விடம்? Where were the body before fertilization? உருத்தரிப்பதற்கு முன் உயிர்ப்பு நின்றது எவ்விடம்? Where was the life before entering the body? மற்புரிந்த சிந்தனையில் மயக்கம் நின்றது எவ்விடம்? In the battlefield of thoughts, where did the confusion stop? விருப்புணர்ந்த ஞானிகள் விரித்துரைக்க வேணுமே. O ஞானிஸ், explain this in detail in another place. உடல் எடுப்பதற்கு முன்பு உயிர் எங்கு இருந்தது? Where was life before entering the body? உயிர் எடுப்பதற்கு முன்பு உடல் எங்கிருந்தது? Where was the body before the life entered? Before formation of fetus during pregnancy, the body was within Vindu. Pregnancy started only after Vindu entered the womb of the mother. To form the pregnancy, the thought was in the mind. The intellect initiated the relationship between the father and mother. Because of the relationship between the father and mother, the thought for a baby developed. Because of that thought, the fetus was formed. Disciple. What is the benefit of the human body? Guru. According to Asiddhar Avvayar grandma, this body is given to us as the perfect one without any blemishes. The world had not noticed the Saint Arul Pragasha Ramalinga Vallalar during his lifetime. We are bound by mundane desires in this world. Ignorance screens out the God. Ignorance must be cleared. Ignorance will leave us only when all our desires are destroyed. However, one cannot destroy the desire. If one destroys the desires, then they will leave the family life. Saint Arunagirinadhar explains that there is a sculpture of God in the temple Sanctum Sanctorum. If you go there for praying, there is a priest, and there are hundreds of devotees standing in the queue behind the priest. One has to cross all these people to look at the sculpture of God. How can you see God overlooking all these people? So when you go to the temple, don't think about all these people blocking the view of God. One must always think about the God inside the temple, and don't take all these people into account. The following stanzas are from Kandar Anubhuti, composed by Saint Arunagirinadhar on Lord Murugan. நெஞ்சு கணக்கள்ளு நெகிழ்ந்து உருக தஞ்சத்து அருள் ஷண்முகனுக்கு இயல் சேர் செஞ்சொற்புனை மாலை சிறந்திடவே பஞ்சக்கர ஆணை பதம் பணிவோம் ஆடும் பரிவேல் அணிசேவல் என பாடும் பணியே பணியாய் அருள்வாய் தேடும் கயமா முகனைச் செருவில் சாடும் தனி யானை சகோதரனே உல்லாச நிராகுல யோக இத சல்லாப வினோதனும் நீ அலையோ எல்லா அற எண்ணெய் இழந்த நலம் சொல்லாய் முருகாசுர பூபதியே. English translation. By surrendering to Lord Shanmugan, His grace will make the heart's stony mind melt and flow. The flow of chaste literary words in His praise into garlands of songs, we will entwine and bowing to the holy feet of the elephant-faced god of 5 hands, we shall pray to attain fame. Searching for an equal to fight against, the great Asura, Gajamukha, was killed in battle by the elephant-faced god. O brother of that god, without an equal, bless me, that I may engage in lifelong service to thee, to thine dancing peacock mount, the veil, and the beautiful cock, a banner. O Muruga, god of Devas, are you not the joyous, ever the carefree, the unsorrowing, the great yogi, the doer of good to others, possessed of kindly speech, and the great marvel and surprise? O gracious Lord, pray enlighten me about the experience of the good state, where everything ceases to exist and I am lost to myself. English translation from Saint Arunagirinadhar by Swami Anvananda. Our Guru's explanation. In the above stanza, there is nothing in this world for myself. You are the one protecting me in this world. I have lost everything in this world. You must come as my protector in this way. Either you are near to me or far away from me, or whatever is hiding you from my vision, my thoughts should always be on God. Only then God alone will appear. One who sees only God is a great devotee. If one keeps the lotus feet of Lord Murugan in their mind, then all the bad karma and all deeds of sin will vanish. The following stanza is from Kandar Anubhuti composed by Saint Arunagirinathar on Lord Murugan. செம்மான் மகளை திருடும் திருடன் பெம்மான் முருகன் பிறவான் இரவான் சும்மா இரு சொல்லற என்றலுமே அம்மா பொருளொன்றும் அறிந்திலனே. The thief who stole the red deer's daughter, which is Valli, he the great master, unborn and undecaying, gave me the instructions to be in solitude, which is summa iru, be still, simply be. So subtle, I cannot comprehend its meaning. English translation from Saint Arunagirinathar by Swami Anvananda. From our Gurunathar. You have instructed to be quiet. I am also keeping quiet. I am unable to understand it. One should be in this melting position with God. One must have pure devotion towards God. If one practices improper devotion, then it will destroy them. Once a devotee queried Saint Pampan Swamigal, one saint is telling, Lord Murugan is God, and another one informing us that Lord Shiva is the one. Like this, many people are telling many names of gods. Why there are so many gods? Is everyone a god? Why do we have so many gods? Pamban Swamigal replied that God is only one. However, to suit individual need, the capacity of one's mind and the state of one's karma, both good and bad, in the current and past births, everyone worships a god which is comfortable to that Atma in different periods of time. In this world, beware that God is only one, and there is no difference among many names and forms. No one occupies higher position than the other. Only in human mind, human beings think about themselves high or low. If one refines their mind, then God alone will occupy highest position on their mind. Disciple, what is the role of healthy body in spirituality? Guru, if you have to travel in spiritual path, your body must cooperate with you. Your family, including your spouse and children, must cooperate with you. Your environment must also cooperate with you. Only if all these are properly maintained and cooperate with you, you can become a complete spiritual person. Even if one is not properly settled, then you will be disturbed and it will be difficult for you to continue in the path of spirituality. If any of your children are not properly leading their life, then you will be affected because they are part of your blood. The mental disturbance caused by your children, relatives, and family members will pull you away from the love of God. You will always remember the sufferings of your kith and kin, and it will be difficult to think of God. Disciple, when does the Atma come into human body? Guru, during the growth of fetus, eyes are formed first, then hands followed by head, and other parts are formed. Only after 10 months in the mother's womb, it reaches full shape of a baby. Even after obtaining full shape, the top portion of the head will not be closed. The stillborn child grows by the mother's breathing and the heat received through the umbilical cord connecting the mother and the baby. The breath of the mother flows into the stillborn baby through the umbilical cord and flows out of the top of its head because it is open. The stillborn child maintains its position in the water of the mother's womb. It keeps its hand close to its ears and rocks in the water because of the breathing goes out of the top of the head. Once the top of the head is closed, the breath of the child tries to flow out of the head. Since it is closed, the breath starts pushing the stillborn and it starts to kick and push to come out of the womb. Because of the blockage of the mother's breathing which came into the stillborn through the umbilical cord, the baby comes out with the head first. Once it comes out of the mother's womb, it does not look at the mother. It only looks at the earth because at the end, we will go into the earth only. After delivery, the umbilical cord is cut from the mother and the opening on the top of the head which closes after a couple of months. The newborn baby is called pindam. It is just a bundle of flesh, blood, nerves and bones. When the umbilical cord attached to the mother is cut, it is neither a child nor a dead body. It does not have any movement. It has life inside but does not move. At this point, the midwife sprinkles water on it, then lifts it by holding the legs and hangs it upside down, then taps it on the back. These actions make the child to open its mouth. Once the mouth is open, immediately the waiting Atma rushes into the child through its mouth. Atma is in the form of Nadam, the divine melody, and the effulgent divine light. Pranavam, the divine melody arm, comprises of 3 sounds. These 3 sounds settle inside the body of the child in 3 places. The first one settles at the navel point, the second one at the top of the head, and the third near the hip region. These 3 functions together lead the life of the child. When the life leaves the body of these 3 joints together and leave the body as a single object called Atma, this is what happens to every child in the nature. Disciple, please explain why we bury or burn the body after death. What is the benefit? Guru, in the current circumstances, we burn the dead body due to scarcity of the space. In olden days, the bodies were burnt because of fear. If the body is buried, except brain, all the parts of the human body will disintegrate into the soil immediately. The brain alone will remain intact for few days because the circulation of the pranan, the life, happened to be there only. Because of this, the brain is powerful. Black magicians use those brains from the burial grounds for their witchcraft. Because of this reason, the bodies were burnt. In other traditions, the bodies were buried so that it will be useful for other living beings like earthworms. Ancient Siddhar and venerated poet of Tamil Nadu, Thiruvalluvar, requested that his body to be cut into pieces and thrown out to feed the eagles and vultures. Disciple: is it possible for the life from one body to enter into another body? Guru: except God-realized Siddhas, ordinary human beings cannot pass their life into a dead body. The God-realized Siddhas had the power to do it. To accomplish some noble deeds, God-realized Siddhas passed their life into a dead body. Ancient Siddhar Tirumular had performed this to alleviate the sufferings of a cowherd due to the sudden death of the cowherd boy. The founder philosopher of Advaitam philosophy, Saint Adi Shankarar, also had performed the same feat to understand the nuances of the married life, to win a debate with wife of a Sanskrit scholar who became his disciple after their defeat in the debate. Only the God-realized Siddhas and saints can accomplish this feat. When another life enters into a living human being, we say this living human being is possessed by ghost. When there are two lives within a human being, the activities of this person will be paranormal. If the life of the ghost is more powerful, then it will push out the life of the human being. Otherwise, it gets exorcised and leaves the body. Disciple: what is the basis of mind? Guru: mind functions by the signals received from the five senses. Mind is part of the Andhakaranam. Andhakaranam in Tamil language is our inner seat of thought, feeling and volition, consisting of mind, in Tamil, manam, intellect, in Tamil, buddhi, will, in Tamil, siddham, ego, in Tamil, agangaram. Andhakaranam is invisible and functions inside our body by integrating all our senses for proper functioning of our body. Andhakaranam is functioning inside our body and is not visible to us. Mind derives its strength from knowledge. One who has mind is called human. If mind leaves, then it is called a dead body. Hence, human being is mind itself. Mind is part of the Andhakaranam. Andhakaranam consists of mind, intellect, will, and ego. Our thoughts are the basis of our mind. Thoughts are generated from the signals received from our senses and our karma. To attain self-realization, our mind has to remain in a thoughtless state. It can be achieved only by burning away all our karma. This will happen only through charitable activities. Our Andhakaranam functions in 4 layers. Mind will get attached to anything. Mind is functioning in the bottommost 4th layer. Buddhi functions in a layer just above the mind. Buddhi is always in a dilemma and will doubt everything. For example, if there is a coiled rope in a dimly lighted area, the Buddhi will doubt whether it is a snake or a rope. Its nature is always to doubt everything. Ahangaram or ego functions in a layer above the layer of Buddhi. Ahangaram will induce the action to clear the doubt. Its main function is determination. The top layer is the siddham. Its main function is to store the result of the determination. We can recollect and use only the information stored in siddham. Out of the above layers, even if one layer is weak, then it will lead to mental imbalance in that layer. It is very difficult to lead a normal life. Regular practice of Raja Yogam will strengthen these layers and protect the mind from mental diseases. All the above are called Andhakaranam, which are tools given to us to lead our life. Jnanam is perceiving these and using it correctly to improve our life and realize God. Jnanam is perceiving the truth. Jnanam is to live a sorrow-free life. The real Jnanam is to correct our death. Disciple: what is the meaning of moksham on Guru's death? Guru Settal Moksham. Guru: Anbe Shivam. Love is Shivam. Maname Guru. Mind is your Guru. It is our motive. God exists in the form of love. It is there within you and me. But mind is not in the form of love. Mind acts lovely sometimes, and other times it acts like a monkey. Atma will attain moksham only when it gets rid of its mind. Every human being is directed from birth to death by their mind only. Guru cannot direct a person from birth to death. Parents cannot direct a person from birth to death. Children never listen to their parents. Disciples don't follow the instructions of the Guru. One will act accordingly to the directions of the mind only. Their activities depends upon the directions of their mind. As long as mind functions in our body, you will be tempted to engage in good and bad deeds, because of which you will not attain moksham. That is the reason we are telling that moksham is attained only after the death of your Guru, which is your mind. Disciple: what are the characteristics of mind and Atma? Guru: mind is full of desires. Atma does not have any desire. Atma is next to God. Mind is next to Atma only. Mind is functioning in illusion. As long as you have a mind, you will be able to lead your life. Without mind, there is no life. This is the reason when ordinary people merge their mind with Atma, they become jnani. People who conduct their life and activities through Atma are called Jnanis. People who conduct their lives to the function of the mind are called human. Disciple. Why does mind say two different things when we are doing one activity? Guru. This is called the one who spoils both. Wavering is the quality of the mind and is always in a state of flux. It is there but also not there. It is functioning but unable to see it. Because of this kind of activity, we are unable to lead our family life. If everyone has the mind to donate, then there will be no bad person in this world. If no one is willing to donate in this world, then there will not be any good person in this world. These two types of thoughts continuously cross the mind of everyone. One thought dictates to donate and another one not to give. It is because of the breathing pattern of the human beings. It is because of our ties with the outside world. No one can get rid of this. If you are able to sever your connection with the outside world, then you can do your activity in a proper way. However, it is difficult to implement it immediately. During the course of your life, slowly you can change it. The effort is yours, and the end result is in the hands of God. Disciple. Is the mind or knowledge responsible for human activity? Guru. There are two types of knowledge. The first one is the knowledge of the local, and the second one is the knowledge of the cosmos. The local knowledge is part of the mind. Also, it is called Andhakaranam. It contains the mind, Siddham, Buddhi, and Ahankaram. It is necessary for the worldly activities and it is in the grip of illusion. The local knowledge is attached to the mind, whereas the knowledge of cosmos is attached to the Atma. The function of the Atma will not be useful for worldly activities, whereas the function of the mind will be useful to the world. That is the reason that mind is functioning in this world. Atma does not function in this world. It exists within the body as an invisible object in the form of effulgent divine light and the divine melody Nadam Am without any movement. Disciple. Why mind is our Guru? Maname Guru? Guru. Nowadays disciples are continuing their own activities by not listening to the advice of their Guru. Hence for the disciples, their own mind is the Guru. A real disciple must become similar to their Guru. A person will not listen to their parents, friends, wife and their children. Finally, they always follow whatever their mind dictates. That is why their mind is their Guru. பிழைப்பதற்கு வழி சொன்னால் பார்க்க மாட்டேன். Will not listen to the advice of the Guru for living. பெண்டாட்டி மனங்குளிர பேசுமாடு, however, speaks to his wife to appease her mind. Every husband is ready to lay down their life for their wife who says nobody in this world is like him. The Guru must not admit these types of people into their ashramam or hermitage. It will spoil the spiritual atmosphere of the community in the ashramam. Among the married people, the husband will not listen to the wife and the wife will not listen to husband, but they will act as if they respect each other and listen to each other's words. At the end of the day, each one will do only whatever their mind dictates. Disciple. Will the mind of a person engaged in the spiritual path lose all attachment in this world? Guru. Only when your mind loses all attachments to this world, you are following the correct spiritual path. If your mind still maintains attachments in this world, then you are not following the right spiritual path. God is called the one without any attachments. Hence, you must attach yourself to the one who does not have any attachments. In reality, you must attach yourself without attachments to the one without any attachments. Mind must lose all its attachments. If your mind is attached to desires, you will not be able to continue in the path of spirituality. You will come out of the illusion only when your mind is clear of all attachments. Only in this state, you will come to know what the truth is and what is a lie. Otherwise, you will not be able to differentiate between these two. You could progress in the path of spirituality only when your mind is calm without any desires and disturbances. Disciple. How to keep our attention on our forehead when our mind is not calm? Guru. Attention means your thought. There are different types of attention. Attention to your spouse, attention on your children, and attention on your bank balance, etc. In Raja Yogam, we are instructing to keep the attention on you and not the world. This attention is different from that attention you practice in your life. In this attention, mind must calm down. When the bull is running, you cannot control it. One must practice the bull to walk slowly and then make it lie down. Similarly, your mind was roaming all over the places for a long time. It will not calm down initially. It will take many years because for hundreds of years, it was wandering without any control. How can it come down immediately? It has to calm down by itself. It will calm down once your breathing calms down. Once the mind calms down, then everything will calm down. This is reiterated in the following stanza by the emperor of 8-part Attanga Yogam, Siddhar Tirumular, in his magnum opus Tirumandiram. Etri irakki iru kaalum poorikkum. One must breathe the two types of breathing by proper inhaling, withholding, and exhaling. Kaatrai pidikkum kanakkarivarillai. No one knows to regulate the breathing. காற்றை பிடிக்கும் கணக்கறிவாளர்க்கு the regulator of the breathing கூற்றை உதைக்கும் கூறியதுவாமே has the ability to kick the lord of death. By practicing yogic breathing of inhaling through one nostril for a particular duration and holding it inside for a particular duration and exhaling it through the other nostril for a particular duration, one can regulate it. Only by the regulation of our breathing, the mind will calm down. If the mind calms down, then the breathing also will stop. The one who masters this technique can kick the lord of death, means there is no death for the one who contains their breath inside themselves.